StablR's EURR and USDR stablecoins have lost their pegs after a suspected private key compromise allowed an attacker to take control of minting permissions and extract about $2.8 million. According to Blockade, a blockchain security firm, the exploit involved a compromised multisig account linked to the issuer of StablR's stablecoins. The attacker gained access by compromising one of 3 private keys in the one of 3 threshold setup, which was enough to control minting access. The attacker then added themselves as an owner, replaced the 2 legitimate owners, and minted a total of 12.85 million tokens, 8.35 million USDR and 4.5 million EURR, pushing both stablecoins away from their intended 1 pegs with the US dollar and euro. This sudden inflationary event caused a depeg shock, as the stablecoins' value dropped below their intended fiat equivalents. The attacker attempted to liquidate the newly minted tokens through decentralized exchanges, but due to thin liquidity, they only managed to convert them into 1,115 ETH in proceeds. This incident highlights a critical vulnerability in StablR's minting permissions and raises questions about the security of its multisig setup. The exploit also underscores the broader May security pressure across the crypto space, with similar vulnerabilities being reported across Verus, Map Protocol, Resolve Labs, and Bridges. The attack mechanism was straightforward. A single compromised private key was enough to grant full control over the minting process. This is a concerning development for any stablecoin relying on. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. A multisig setup with low threshold requirements. The attacker's actions pushed both EURR and USDR out of their pegs, which could lead to a loss of trust among users and a potential liquidity crisis. The attacker's ability to mint and then immediately convert tokens into ETH suggests a well-coordinated attack with a clear financial motive. The thin liquidity on DEXs limited the attacker's success, but the scale of the minting still had a significant impact on the stablecoin's value. This incident is a reminder of the risks associated with centralized minting permissions in a decentralized environment. If a single key can grant full control, then the system is inherently vulnerable to private key compromises. The broader crypto market is watching to see how StablR responds to this exploit and whether it will implement stronger security measures to prevent future attacks. The next signal to watch is whether StablR will pause minting permissions or restructure its multisig setup to increase the threshold required for minting access. If the threshold is raised to 2 of 3 or 3 of 3, it would significantly reduce the risk of a similar exploit occurring again. However, if StablR chooses to maintain its current setup, it could face continued volatility and a loss of user confidence in its stablecoins. The depeg shock has already affected EURR and USDR, and if the stablecoins fail to regain their pegs, it could lead to broader market uncertainty. The attacker's 1,115 ETH in proceeds is a small fraction of the $10.4 million in face value of the tokens minted, but it still represents a significant financial gain. The fact that the attacker was able to mint so many tokens and then attempt to liquidate them shows a high level of coordination and access to the necessary tools. The incident also raises questions about the overall security of StablR's smart contracts and the governance mechanisms in place to protect them. If a single private key compromise is enough to grant full control, then the system is not adequately protected against insider threats or external attacks. The broader market is also watching for any regulatory or exchange reactions to this exploit. If major exchanges delist EURR, most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. In USDR or imposed trading restrictions, it could further impact the stablecoins, value, and liquidity. The next signal to watch is whether StablR will issue a public statement or take any immediate action to address the exploit and reassure users. If the response is slow or vague, it could lead to further depegging and a loss of confidence in the stablecoins. The incident is a cautionary tale for other stablecoin issuers who rely on multisig setups with low threshold requirements. It shows that even a small compromise can have a large impact on the stability of a token. As the crypto market continues to evolve, security measures must keep pace with the growing complexity of smart contracts and decentralized systems.